Hi everyone, my name is Maryam Rizkina. I'm a student of LSP or Communication and Business Institute Jakarta. Also a student of Sir Charles Bonar Sirait from Public Speaking and Presentation Skills. In this video, I'm going to talk about climate change. What is climate change?
Climate change is all the gases from the Earth are trapped in atmosphere which cause the heat and make Earth more warmer. This is called greenhouse effect.
Most of human activity is the cause of climate change. Pollution, burning fossil fuels which release CO2, consuming animals release methane, electricity use and factory waste. Right now, the Earth is about 1 degree hotter than pre-industrial times, around year 1800. Based on UN, before 2100, if the heat raise only 1.5 degree, it is fine. But the problem is, the Earth heat rise 1.5 degrees only in 10 years, which in 2030, if the heat still rising, it will cause catastrophe, and we already start to see it right now.
Flooding, wildland fire, extreme weather, and drought.
In November 2015, 187 countries came together in Paris and agreed to pursue efforts to limit the temperature increase on our planet to 1.5 degrees. The bad news? Those emissions are still rising and have already warmed the globe by 1.1 degrees Celsius. The tracker makes two problems clear.
First, countries have not set emissions target ambitious enough to reach the goals of the Paris Agreement. Even if every country hit their targets, the temperature would still increase by more than 2 degrees Celsius over the next 70 years and continue to rise into the 22nd century and beyond.
Second, governments are simply not delivering even on their ambitious targets. These 36 countries have done so far, and everything they are currently planning will only slow the growth in emissions. We need to do more than that. To have hope of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees, we need to cut global emissions in half by 2030 and get to net zero by 2050. The numbers of the 36 countries analyzed, only 2 are taking enough actions to restrain global warming 1.5 degrees. 2020 is the year national governments were supposed to come together and strengthen their target. So far, only few have done so, while others have announced they are sticking with their existing insufficient targets. Now, some countries are not too far behind the Gambia and Morocco, such as India and Kenya. But the countries with the most advanced economies, those with greatest capacity to innovate and help others, are shirking their responsibility to lead. The United States is currently withdrawing from the Paris Agreement. China shows promised its pledge to balance out its carbon emissions by 2060, and the EU is taking steps in the right directions to make member countries more sustainable. But this deal is still not enough for 1.5 degrees. So, are there any signs of hope? One key measure is countries' willingness to clean up electricity. Clean power can enable other sectors to reduce and eliminate emissions. More than 50 countries, 30 regions, 160 cities, and 200 businesses have committed to 100 clean electricity. Denmark, Scotland, and the state of South Australia are almost there already. But much of the wind still needs to sector. More than 20 countries, 5 regions, 50 cities, and 60 businesses have already committed to 100 emissions-free cars, motorcycles, and buses. Norway is mandating the end of the sales of fossil fuel cars by 2025. Meanwhile, the US is allowing companies to make cars that don't travel as far on a gallon of gas, rolling back fuel efficiency standards. Other sectors such as steel and cement making, or aviation and shipping, are even further behind, the trickier to clean up.